let me say this. The Lakers aren't trading LeBron James.
Thanks.
All right, LeBron James is the only thing the Lakers have going for them, period.
Is he the only person right now within the organization that we even are certain is good at what they do?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And now, I do have some respect for Vogel. I know he struggled in Orlando. I thought he was good in Indiana. Some people will tell you it was his staff, whatever. I thought he was good in Indiana. But for the most part, yeah, look. And LeBron, despite the narrative that nobody wants to play with him, we know Anthony Davis wants to go there. We know Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying he wants to go there. I don't think he will go there. But that's a possibility. Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker. Like, the narrative.
I know for a fact that Kawhi doesn't mind playing with LeBron.
Right. That is
Right.
not necessarily that he's thirsting to, but that he's not opposed to.
I would have known if he didn't want to play with LeBron. I was also the first one that said, it's not necessarily L.A., meaning the Lakers. That means it could be the Clippers, their front office, Jerry West, and all that. So we have Kawhi, who wouldn't mind playing with them, and we have Anthony Davis.
There's only one of these big-name free agents, sorry to interrupt you,
No.
that I feel like we know beyond a shadow of a doubt from his own comments and from logic that the Lakers are less attractive with LeBron there. And that's Kevin Durant.
KD.
But KD, it's how
He's
it's supposed
competing
to be.
with
He's
LeBron.
competing with him.
Right,
That's how
right.
it's supposed to be. And so, like, all the other free agents, to me, from what I understand, LeBron is either a neutral point or a positive point. And so, but go ahead.
No, I agree. And here's the thing from a Philly perspective, or any other team that would try to trade for LeBron. LeBron wants to be with the Lakers. It wasn't just, Magic Johnson's there, I'm going to go there. He was going there pretty much anyway.
But does he think he still wants to be with the Lakers?
Yes, he wants to be in L.A. He didn't go there.
I understand he wants to be in L.A.
But
why does he want to be on the Lakers?
Well, he wants to be in L.A. I mean, seriously. Like, and I don't think he's bigger than the
Clippers. Then maybe there'd be some traction.
Possibly because the way the franchise is looking right now. But I know in the past, LeBron, it was always he's bigger than the Clippers. The Lakers are the glamour franchise of the NBA. He's one of the biggest names the league has ever had. He wants to be there because his family. He wants to be there, obviously, his business situations. And here's the thing, too, and this is why yesterday with Vogel I emphasized so much, the key is LeBron buying in. And that includes the coaching staff and the roster. Because, look, the Portland Trail Blazers are in the Western Conference Finals. And if it wasn't going to be them, it was going to be Denver. Yeah. You can't tell me a healthy LeBron James and just what he had this year. Even if they don't add anybody.
Bring it back.
Right. They couldn't compete with Portland and Denver.
Right. They couldn't have done, by the way, they couldn't have been, let's say they get the 7th spot, the spot the Spurs were in. Let's just say.
Because that was that side of the bracket.
Right, that side of the bracket. They couldn't have, the Spurs took Denver to 7 games. And listen, with folks in Denver, you guys earned my respect. Jokic was spectacular starting out game. Jokic he proved himself. But Jokic in Denver wouldn't want to see LeBron in Game 7 of the first round.
They got 7.
And I agree with you. And so I think the Lakers, organizationally, are in disarray. But we can't forget that on the court, assuming LeBron's healthy, and which I understand we can't, it's not a given the way it had been up until last season, and assuming that even if his play is deteriorating, that it's not deteriorating by 30 or 40% each year, you're a pseudo-contender now, which is why any of these rumors, having it out there before free agency, because you add another player, you are a real contender, is baffling to me.
I think we need to look at how the players look at things, not only from a LeBron standpoint, because these current players, they didn't see Michael Jordan play. The greatest basketball player they ever seen play is LeBron James. So all these rumors about it being a distraction to play with LeBron and all that, some of that's true, but most of it is not true. So in their eyes, LeBron is the best player that's ever played the game. We have to always remember that. From a Lakers standpoint, the problem is, since these guys have been in the NBA, the Lakers have been a dumpster fire. They haven't been in the playoffs. They haven't been one of the elite basketball programs. So, yeah, they do look at LeBron as if, yeah, man, I would like to be able to do that. He's an iconic player. But this is not an iconic franchise to them. They're not like us.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, they're looking at the Clippers. Clippers had Lob City, to them. So they're looking at the Clippers as the better franchise, at least right now. And quickly, Nick, if another team were to try to trade for LeBron, they would have to weigh in, he doesn't want to be here. Like, unless you get him to say, okay, yeah, I'm excited about going to Philly. I'd like to try to win a championship with Embiid or whatever. Then you have a situation where we've seen LeBron when he's not happy, when he wants to sulk. And that's what you'd have to deal with.
And the problem for Philly is, if LeBron wanted to be there, he'd have been there.
He could have went there.
And that would have been the best situation to compete for as many championships as possible. The family element of this was the biggest. Everyone acts like the biggest element is his game shows and his TV shows and the product. That absolutely.
You can do that from anywhere.
You can do that from anywhere. Guy's got a private jet. Like, you can do that from anywhere. That was an element. Oh, he's got to tape Space Jam. Like, that's going to take 8 weeks in a summer. It was his, from what I understand, his wife and his kids said, man, it's Akron or L.A. You know what I mean? We're not going to another place, especially when his oldest son is entering the recruitment phase of high school, all these things. And so I just think, that this is, I don't want to say it's a non-story because it's obviously a story. I think it's almost a non-starter. I'm very curious from your perspective because you're in the news-breaking business. To me, this feels like a rival executive trying to plant seeds of doubt in potential free agent minds that the Lakers aren't bought in on LeBron James, because Tom Habershaw's a great reporter and a great writer, but he said he talked to a Western Conference executive or an NBA executive that said the Lakers could trade LeBron.
I don't even think it's that deep. I think, and I know this from talking to executives all the time, this was just a conversation. And this was, what do you think that, Lakers do or Philly? Hey, heck, if I'm Philly, maybe I'm looking to, I think they should, they might try to get LeBron for Ben Simmons.
No,
like, it's that type of discussion.
Well, there's some real conversations as far as Ben Simmons. Now with his second year, failing in the playoffs, not being able to get the numbers that he got during the regular season, they also have the same agent. And if you're going to get off of Ben Simmons, you got to move him somewhere. You got to be able to move him somewhere.
From Philly's perspective, it looks good.
It would be a huge win.
I would do it if I'm Philly, but I wouldn't do it if I'm the Lakers.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.